Hello again, YouTube. I am back with another video. Today, I want to experiment with using AI to build a vocal effect chain from scratch and just kind of share and document the process. So not a preset, not a copy and paste plugin chain. This is just going to be a conversation that we're going to have with AI. In this specific case, ChatGPT, and we're just going to describe the vibe that we're going for and just see if it can help me shape the sound I'm looking for. Now, again, before we get into it, I know AI and music feels weird to a lot of people, but like I mentioned in some of my previous videos, it's really about how you use AI. It's just another tool. There's plenty of creative things that open up when you just open to it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and walk through it. All right, so in this project, just quick overview of what we're working with here. This was a song that I made specifically with sports music in mind. So if you think of highlight reel, if you think of NBA 2K, if you think of Sports Center, ESPN, anything like that, this song was kind of made with that type of anthemic, sports-centric vibe in mind. So we already have the actual instrument here, the beat, and then we have the vocals. The vocal track that we're going to work with for this particular video is the lead vocal for the hook. And I already have a mix that I'm happy with. But I want to see kind of how the mix, the vocal, I want to see how the effects chain that ChatGPT creates or thinks up, how it compares to what I did, and just kind of compare and contrast and see which one sounds better. So just to go, and I'll play the music in a second, but just to kind of go over what I did here. So I have, for most of my tracks, I originally had Waves tune on here, but since I switched from a PC to a Mac, that plugin doesn't seem to work on this computer. So I'm using Ableton's Auto Shift. I still have to figure this plugin out. So I just have, I had the default preset set here. All I did really was just set it to the key of the song. Very, very light touch here. So next I have just EQ. This is a preset vocal presence. All it does is basically kind of raises the high end a little bit, and then we take a little bit of the mud out of the raw vocal. We have a bit of compression right after that, and then we're using a utility tool just to widen this track out, and then we're reducing the gain just a little bit. This is all I have on this particular track, and then I have it going to a hook bus. And the reason why I just didn't add it here is because I have the background track as well, and both of these are going to be routed to the hook bus. And on the bus we have a glue compressor. This just kind of ties the backing vocal and the main vocal together just a little bit. We have another Waves plugin here. This is Silk Vocal. Essentially this is just doing some EQ and compression. We have, you can take a look at my presets here to see what I did. And then we're using the multi-band compressor to kind of emulate a de-esser. So again, this is something I probably would have used the Waves plugin for, but it doesn't work on this computer. So I'm using Ableton's stock de-esser, and it works pretty decent. I need to play around with that one a bit more too. I'm slowly becoming a purely Ableton stock effect type of dude. So and you get pretty good sounds, and you can save on some CPU usage. So anyways, moving forward, we got Roar here. Roar is just to add a little saturation to the vocals. If you look at the band here, each of these, the low, mid, and high, I have a tube shaper on, I think all of these except the low end, and then I'm raising the amount just a little bit. So this just adds a little bit of saturation to the vocal. And then we're compressing all of that again. And the thing that we're doing with this EQ3 is we're just kind of lowering the top end a little bit because of the saturation that we did on the previous effect. This just kind of takes a little bit of the too high grainy noises out. Hope I explained that in a way that made sense. But to top it all off, I just have some very light reverb at the very end, very light. All of this then gets routed to the vocal bus, which we are doing some parallel compression here. We have the dry effect chain, and then we're just doing some real simple like parallel compression right here. And then we're topping that all off with one of my favorite plugins, the Lifeline console. This kind of gives it a warm analog tone. And then we're we're kind of gluing everything together. This is for the hook, the verse, and the ad-libs with this glue compressor. Now these aren't going to be changed no matter what the AI says. These are just like the mastered vocal bus effects. Probably not going to touch that. What we're going to probably change is what we apply at this level and what we apply on the actual hook bus. So that's a lot of talking. Sorry if I bored you guys with some nerdy stuff, but let's just listen to the music real quick so you guys can hear what it sounds like.
Repeat. I shook you right off of your feet. Hit 10 shots. We ain't never skipping a beat. Fast break. We dashing straight to the racks. Splish splash. And we do that back to back. Rinse, repeat. I shook you right off of your feet. Hit 10 shots. We ain't never skipping a beat. Fast break. We dashing straight to the racks. Splish splash, and we do that back to back.
Like I said, we're going to focus on the hook, and we are going to focus on just this one track here. So let me go ahead and solo that particular piece.
Rinse, repeat. I shook you right off of your feet. Hit 10 shots. We ain't never skipping a beat. Fast break. We dashing straight to the racks. Splish splash, and we do that back to back.
Okay, great. So let's go ahead and jump into ChatGPT and let's see what we can do. Okay, so we are in ChatGPT and I have my prompt queued up. You can pause it and take a look at it. I want to see what it does with just this. I feel like I should probably specify, hey, I want you to only use Ableton stock effects, but I'm just curious, you know, it might suggest something dope with another third-party plugin. So I don't know. I just want to see what it does. So this is our prompt. Let's go ahead and hit enter and see what it does. Okay, it's typing something here. Okay, this is actually pretty cool. I didn't expect it to do it like this. So, all right, so let's start from the beginning. So it's telling us to, in this order, first apply EQ, compression, saturation, a little de-esser, EQ, delay, reverb, and a limiter. So what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly what it says. We're going to create this chain and basically apply it to our track and see what it does. Okay, so let's go through the list one by one. So EQ, they want me to use EQ8, check. They want me to set a high pass filter at around 80 Hertz, check. Dip around 200 to 400 Hertz, check. Slight notch, 2.5 to 4 kilohertz, check. A small boost around 8 to 10 kilohertz, check. Okay, next, they want me to add a compressor. So in this case, they gave me two options between a compressor or glue compressor. In this case, I chose the compressor, the ratio 3.1 or 4 to 1, so check. They want the attack at 5 to 10 milliseconds, check. Release auto or around 50 milliseconds, check. Of -4 to -6 dBs, check. So moving on, saturation. And you know what's cool? They said they gave you an option for a third-party plugin. So soft tube saturation knob. I think this is actually free. So I mean that could have been an option, but I chose to stick with default Ableton devices. So I loaded up the saturator. And what they said was to switch it into soft clip mode. So check. Increase the drive 1.5 to 3 decibels, check. And then move the wet knob down to around 50 to 60%. So check on that. Next, they recommend a de-esser. So again, I don't have a good third-party de-esser, so I went with Multiband Dynamics. I chose Ableton preset for a de-esser, and I really didn't change too much here. I know what it says here, but I just kind of adjusted the taste. And then next, they have like a post-sculpting EQ. So again, they recommend EQ8. So boost the 10 kilohertz frequency slightly for sparkle, check. A small boost 1.5 to 2 kilohertz, check, and then a slight cut at 300 hertz to 500 hertz, check. And with the delay, they gave me two options here, simple delay or echo. I use simple delay a lot, so I chose to go with echo because I don't really use that effect too much. And so I set the ping pong. It's already came set at, what it comes set at? It was already set at a 1/8. I moved the feedback down to about 30%, adjusted the wet dry, check. And then with the high pass, we set that around 500 hertz. And then next we have reverb. So Valhalla Room is one that they recommend. This one is also free, I believe. I actually should probably get Valhalla, but I don't have that one, so I used Ableton's hybrid reverb. So they recommend small or medium room plates. So in the convolution IR area down here, I chose plates, and then I chose a small plate, 2 seconds, and then I adjusted the pre-delay, check, adjusted the decay, check, and then I moved the wet dry to around the range that they suggested. And then finally a limiter, just using Ableton stock limiter. And all they recommend is just putting a negative 0.3 dB on the ceiling. I didn't touch the gain, and that's what they left me with. Okay guys, moment of truth. Let's see what it sounds like with the ChatGPT suggested vocal chain. First and foremost, just so we can remind ourselves what the original sounded like, let's hit play and see what it sounds like.
Rinse, repeat. I shook you right off of your feet. Hit 10 shots. We ain't never skipping a beat. Fast break. We dashing straight to the racks. Splish splash. And we do that back to back.
Okay, so that's the original. Let's mute those effects. Let's mute this track. Let's unmute this. And this is a world premiere. I haven't even heard this yet. So let's listen together, see what it sounds like.
Rinse, repeat. I shook you right off of your feet. Hit 10 shots. We ain't never skipping a beat. Fast break. We dashing straight to the racks. Splish splash. And we do that back to back. Rinse.
I mean, that's kind of legit. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I would do some things differently. I probably wouldn't put the echoes a bit much. I probably would turn this down or just switch this to maybe 1/4, turn the feedback down a little bit. But I mean, this is actually, I could see this being used, I mean, with a few tweaks. And just think about the applications for this, like somebody that's brand new to mixing, mastering, music production in general, coming in and trying to mix vocals themselves, like this could really educate as well as save a lot of time. I really think this is a cool tool. So yeah, that's really all I got on this video, guys. If you want to see me test out AI vocal chains for different genres, leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to see. If you enjoyed this video, also put a thumbs up on the video, drop a comment. And if you're using ChatGPT or any other AI tools in your vocal chains, let me know what's worked for you. So that's all for this one. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Peace.